Major Bag Alert Award, a.k.a. Pay That Man. These are 5 guys that deserve to go into this open market this offseason and get major bags. Some underpaid guys that I think are really, really deserving for a raise. Again, I know owners and GMs are going to be like, nah, keep him a secret. We don't want to use our cap space. Everybody's so cap, what is it? They're so cap nerdy all of a sudden because of this first apron and second apron. We saw the trade deadline where there was like 5 or 6 trades. It was like, okay, we all were just looking like, what is that doing? And then you find out 30 minutes later, oh, they did this trade because that trade puts them $350,000 under the first apron. This trade gets them $1 under the second apron. So now, because they're $1 under the second apron, they can keep their draft pick. Or because they're $900,000 under, they can go out and be buyout candidates for a player. It's just a whole mess, But nevertheless, it is what it is. First guy on this list, Malik Beasley. Shout out to Christian. Christian threw out the name Malik Beasley, and I said, boy, you damn right. The way Malik Beasley has been hitting these three-point shots for the Detroit Pistons and the impact he's had as a vet, it's been night and day. We talked about all last year, hey, this Cade Cunningham guy is extremely good. You just have to put some shooting around him. They went out and they got Malik Beasley, and Malik Beasley has answered the call. My only thing that I told producer Christian, Malik Beasley, I'm trying to say this the right way. Malik Beasley is one of those guys where his seasons are hit or miss. And that's the only thing that I could see teams being hesitant with, right? Like we've seen Malik Beasley be a Laker. We've seen him be on the Bucks. And those were 2 different players. I'll never forget Mike from the Numbers on the Board podcast, my co-host. He looked at me and said, now why Malik Beasley couldn't shoot the ball like this when he was on my team? Right? And I think that's why certain shooters, you got Malik Beasley, Luke Kennard, and there's a handful of others that I can name. Their market is always weird because I don't know if teams are in the space to commit long-term money to shooters. That's just what it is. A lot of these shooters are just on 1-year deals. If you really shoot the hell out of the ball, you might get on 2-year deal. I think the Duncan Robinson contract from the Miami Heat made a lot of teams, say, you know what? Maybe shooting ain't that damn valuable. Like we probably can just find some shooting. Now you do have guys like Grayson Allen, who got paid from the Suns. And I really like the contract that they gave Grayson Allen. He deserved it. But Grayson Allen showed a lot of consistency with his shooting. And I think guys like Malik Beasley may have to do the same thing. So I could be wrong. There could be a team out there that thinks all they are missing is the shooting that Malik Beasley gives. Or maybe the Pistons reward him and say, you know what? You've been not only an incredible shooter, you've been good to the locker room. You've been a good vet for everybody else in here. I've seen little things online outside of the actual basketball games where Malik Beasley is doing dope shit. I've seen him wait for Cade Cunningham to finish his interviews. I've seen him get the game ball for players and different things like that. So his impact is going beyond the basketball court, and he's actually being a legitimate veteran. So maybe he gets rewarded by the Pistons. I do remember him being scared of potentially being traded at the deadline and them going and telling the Pistons, like, hey, I know this is a business. Y'all got to do whatever y'all got to do, but I enjoy being here and I want to be here. So if that mean anything, allow me to stay here. They did. Malik Beasley, pay that man. Major bag alert. The next guy we got is a guy out there in Minnesota. This is a guy that was rumored to have. I'm gonna tie both of these guys in. 2 guys out there in Minnesota. It was rumored that they traded Cat to have flexibility, obviously in the long run, but they also wanted to make sure that they were able to bring these 2 guys back, and that is Naz Reid and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. 2 guys that I have extreme admiration for the game. I love Naz Reid, Big Jelly. He's been so unique the way he shoots the basketball. And I think because you lost Karl Anthony Towns, you definitely feel the pressure of having to keep Naz Reid. And he just feels like one of those guys, him and Nickeil, they feel like they help the team go. They're part of the heartbeat for that team. And it just would be weird to not see them with this group. It's them 2, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards. Like, to me, that's really like almost your core, right? No disrespect to Rudy or Mike Conley or any of those other guys, but I think those 4 I would love to see go forward. And I think if Anthony Edwards had to pick any 3 teammates he can have rock with him, he would probably pick those 3. That's just my thinking. I could be totally wrong. One thing I'm realizing as we do more and more teed up episodes, I'll be wrong as hell. Like, the trade deadline was the most glaring one. I love the clip of me saying, man, this is going to be a dead-ass trade deadline. I don't think shit going to happen. And then the next thing you know, 72 hours later, Luka Doncic to the Lakers. And then they showing the guy, oh, man, I'll be wrong as hell. So for all I know, Anthony Edwards probably hate all three of them. He probably asking their ass to be traded as I'm speaking. I don't know. But if I just had a guess, I would think Nikhil, Nas, and McDaniels are his guys. And I just think that they give the Timberwolves that swag. Now, it's also the thing that the Timberwolves potentially could be owned by Alex Rodriguez, and I forget the other guy's name. I'm sorry. I'm just a big baseball fan. A-Rod, one of my favorite players of all time. I don't know what that's going to mean for the Timberwolves. I think Alex Rodriguez and his guy that's trying to get it from Glenn Taylor, I think they're going to be big spenders. I don't know. You never know with these owners. You can talk a big game, but then the reality of getting that salary cap spreadsheet in front of you and realizing, oh shit, we got to pay. How much over the tech? That's a different conversation. So I believe they are going to be spenders. Though. I believe so, and we'll see if they can actually get the ruling from the NBA and Adam Silver to actually become the owners, because apparently they had the arbitration meeting in court. It was favorable for them, but there's one last process where the other owners and Adam Silver got to have a voting, and they got to get 27 approvals before they become the actual owners. And apparently Glenn Taylor has been a part of the boarding or whatever they call it. And so he might have some people on his side that say, hey, we're going to stay loyal to Glenn. We'll see. But Nas Reed, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, pay them boys the bag. They mean a lot to Minnesota. They've given y'all a certain culture, a certain swagger. And, yeah, they're the heartbeat. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been amazing. He has been amazing this year. We already know what Nas is, but Nickeil has stepped up tremendously. He's came off the bench. He started. He's been knocking a three-point shot down crazy. He's been defending all over the place. If he did leave, I would love to see Nickeil Alexander-Walker have an extended role or a bigger role. I'm not saying I want him to leave, but if he did, please, Nickeil, go to a team where you can get a bigger role. That's just my own personal thing. Staying on the topic of guys that deserve the bag, major bag alert. Mark Lore. Shout out to Kat. She's in the comments saying Mark Lore. Mark Lore, I want to give you your shout out in case y'all ever want to give your boys some tickets or show some love when I'm in Minnesota. Ty Jerome, man. Pay Ty Jerome that bag. Nothing more than I love than guys that work on their game. Ty Jerome spent all that time at Virginia. I wasn't a big Virginia fan. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know why. I just did not like their team that much, and they lost. And then I was like, you know what, man? I feel for them guys. And then they came back and won, and I kind of liked the team. I like Kyle Guy, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, obviously, and then my boy Kihei, the little point guard Kihei. But yeah, once Ty Jerome kind of left Virginia, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I seen him around the league. He was with the Thunder and shit like that. And I was like, oh, it's Ty Jerome. It's cool. Didn't think too much of it. But every year he kept getting better and better and better and better and better. And when I mean better, he would just show a little flash. He would get opportunity. It's almost reminiscent of a guy like Peyton Pritchard. I remember Peyton Pritchard used to say, man, hey, the Celtics can trade me. And this is a championship team. We like, what? You asking for a trade? But he like, man, I work on my game. I want to play. And I know I can play. And I used to think Peyton Pritchard was out of his mind. And then they started giving him opportunity. They started to let him play. And you know what? He was right. Peyton Pritchard is now killing the league. I see a bunch of people that's picking him as the potential sixth man of the year. And he was right. When you work on your game that much, you deserve to be that confident. You're allowed to be that confident. And when he got his opportunity, he backed it up with his play. And I think Ty Jerome, maybe not as vocal as Peyton Pritchard, right? He didn't have the consistency to stand on one team like Peyton Pritchard. And he never got to the point where he was demanding playing time. But again, Ty Jerome is just a guy who you can tell works on his game. And every time he gets an opportunity, he parlays it into a moment and shows why he deserves more and more and more minutes. He's doing his thing with Cleveland. They obviously taking over the league. And I love the nights where a guy gets rest or, a guy is sitting out and Ty Jerome is getting more minutes and he goes to work. And shout out to Kenny Atkinson. I also think it's no mistake and it's no coincidence. Certain coaches bring a certain identity and a certain feel to a team that allows guys to have freedom and to play confident. basketball is a game that is based on confidence. If a guy does not believe in his abilities, or if he's in his own head, he is not going to have success. He's going to second guess every single thing he's doing. That's at the youth basketball level, the high school level, that's in college, that's in the pros, that's overseas, that's men's basketball, that's women's basketball. Confidence is everything. And Ty Jerome this year with the Cleveland Cavaliers has looked as confident as I've seen him. I think he looked more confident than he did in Virginia. Like, he just be out there hooping, like just literally hooping. And he don't do anything spectacular. He ain't got a 45-inch vertical. He's not Steph Curry. He's not 6'9". He is kind of tall for guards, 6'4", 6'5". But he goes out there, plays out of the pick and roll. If you go under, he'll make you pay. If you come around and try to chase him, he'll attack and he can make decisions with the basketball. Shout out to Ty Jerome. Cleveland, prioritize that man. He is making $2-point-something million this year. You play around if you want to. Ty Jerome is a guy that if I was one of these other teams and I had some cap space, I would not only put him on my team, but I would have no problem taking him away from the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's just my humble opinion. If I had some cap space, I would pay that man that bag and I would take him away from the Cleveland Cavaliers. But that's just me. I'm a snake. Damn it, I'm a snake. When it comes to the NBA shit, I'm a snake. When my family, my friends, I'm as loyal as can be. If I was a GM, I'm a snake you. If you let your player get to the open market, I'm snaking you. Last guy on the list for major bag alert, Yasselli, Gershon Yasselli. He's making a minimum. He's making like $1 million. This is an easy call. Philly don't deserve you. You should have brought your ass over to New York. If you were going to take $1 million, you should have came to the Knicks, damn it. But no, he's going to hit the open market. He's going to get a lot more than $1 million. It's going to be a big loss for the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm actually honest. I'm surprised they didn't trade him, just because you want to get something rather than nothing. Even if it was just a second-round pick, a lousy second-round pick, he's literally not returning for $1 million. I'll tell you right now. He's going to be very sought after. I could see double-digit teams reaching out to him and his agent when free agency starts. No doubt about it. So, again, shout out to all those guys. I think they're really deserving to get raises, and I don't want to upset no owners or no GMs, but make sure y'all pay them, man, for that major bag alert.